this is a real Bruce I don't edit. This is SOAPBOX or SOAPBOX spin-off, and I'm toying with the name of Soca or Die. I have
Sounds
with
intense.
me, it is intense. This is a battle for I don't know, the future of
Culture.
Soca. Yes, for the culture, right.
I don't know.
Save our culture.
I don't
SOC.
I feel like
No.
Soca or Die.
Nah.
Soca, I like Soca or Die. I think it brings home the...
Are you gonna have to pay some kind of royalties or something to Nyla Blackmore?
That is not Nyla Blackmore.
But if you say it like...
The first person to capture in song in Soca, that is Soca or Die, was Destra. Show the
Indeed.
world why Soca or Die, cause we're not
Alright,
giving
alright,
up.
alright.
Yes.
Okay.
Soca or Die.
We would have to pay Destra more. You should not have
no.
said that.
Yeah.
Kareem said it's 15 seconds before, you know.
15 seconds before you get...
And again, this is for educational purposes, so that intellectual property, like, carve out. Yeah.
Okay.
But I was introducing you all.
Yeah.
So I have Kareem Gibbs, who I asked his opinion for this matter. The first time we engaged on Soca, I did not ask his opinion. And he has something against KMC.
Nothing
But we
against
will-
KMC. The great and powerful Ken Michael.
Lies. And then Evelina Bruce, who has been my Soca guide or mentor or something of the sort.
I feel
Because she's also my sister.
this is like high praise.
You know why? Because you introduced me to Bungie Garlin.
Indeed.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
But I think the Soca or Die, like, I just like that name. I think, because I was talking with others like Soca Power Hour, but no.
It's not
No, and it's not an hour.
And it's not right.
Yeah,
And a power half hour don't seem like enough.
Yeah,
No,
no.
yeah.
So I think Soca or Die really drives it home.
I'm not sold on it, but
Like you said, like J Angel, for the culture, it will...
It will work.
It will. No, okay, don't
I
do that.
feel, are we gonna continue to?
Yes. But anyway, but also why Soca or Die was because of the whole debate with whether or not fetes and On the Road should be 100% Soca, whether or not dancehall should be included in fete playlists and in the you know, carnival parade. I see approving and disapproving faces around the table.
I disapprove with my whole heart and soul. With my whole heart and soul, let me tell you what.
Listen to me. If you understand the concept of zessin,
Oh my god.
you can't hate it in the carnival.
No, I hate it in the carnival.
Zessin is basically carnival, though.
No, it is not.
I feel like, so
Not.
is the term zest, and I hate to like,
To digress.
Feed into that.
but is the term zestin a local term?
Yes.
A local dancehall culture too?
No, local term full stop. Local
Okay.
So
ghetto
the,
term.
so the genesis of the term zessa,
It's local Trinidad.
There's
born.
literally nothing more Trinidadian than zessin.
but it's only used in local dancehall.
Yes.
You don't have
Right.
to forget
Yeah.
me because
True.
I'm on the periphery of the millennialness.
Yeah.
I as well.
So
Yeah. Not really boomer, not really millennial.
somewhere in between.
But even if it is a local term, I don't think it extends to mainstream in the kind of way. And not only that, forget the whole thing about the music. I don't think it has a place in carnival.
But I'm pretty sure people didn't think soca had a place in carnival when it started.
Lies.
Soca, power soca.
No, I think.
Coming from Calypso, you think people
Yes.
was welcoming to soca?
But at the same time, it was a spin-off of. It's an offshoot of. So you can't.
true. This is true. Dancehall, however, is a genre all on its own.
Yes.
That belongs to nothing against the
Jamaica
other
and
islands.
Jamaica, right?
I have a lot of respect for all the other islands. I appreciate their contributions to what is our carnival. I think carnivals of the last 5 or so, maybe even 10, or maybe we could even say the last 20 years of carnival. No, we're in 2020. Okay, 30 years of carnival would not be what it is without the contributions of the islands. However, I say all that to say, I still don't think that dancehall has a place. I feel as though dancehall is unique to Jamaican culture. It began there, it started there, it is at home in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And while we have local dancehall and all those things that are great throughout the year, if we to continue to make our product, we need to stick to our music, our culture, our style, our ways. Yes, there might be ways to infuse the other cultures, give them a little shout out in it, but not wholly and solely take a dancehall song and jump up on the road to it. That's where I draw the line.
Which is what I was saying, because again, integration is integration, but acculturation is something different.
Amen.
So that in terms of pushing forward, proudly TNT in terms of our manufacturing sector, same thing with the music. And again, a point of reference is you would not find a soca song in the middle of Sting, right? You would not go to Sumfest, Reggae Sumfest, and they play, I don't know, the best of soca. And we have seen, I think we have seen instances where, and again, it is nothing against local dancehall artists or Jamaican or any other dancehall artists, because there is a time and a place and a space for it. But I think Carnival, in terms of historically, culturally, I think it is a place to showcase indigenous culture. And if it is Charlie Black singing soca, fine. Amen. If it is Conscience singing soca, fine. And not only that, but Beanie Man and Marshall with UFO have had from since then, and Beanie Man, and I think he would be the godfather of dancehall soca or soca dance or whatever you want to talk. But they found a way to integrate it without it being wholly and solely. Yeah, intrusive is probably the best way.
You know, I think as well we struggle as it is on our own. We struggle to hold on to those things that are indigenous. Yeah. There are so few things, even now in 2020 Carnival, there are so few things that you could probably tie back to carnivals of old as it is, that to start now introducing a whole other culture is to add to the cultural confusion that many of our, especially these millennials,
Gen Z. No, because I had to tweet about it, and I was like, Gen Z needs to crawl back into their hole until they get a lesson in I don't know, culture, history of Trinidad and Tobago, something. And not only that, but part of the reason for the podcast and this whole discussion was, I kept telling people, because, in terms of researching creative industries and cultural industries, I kept telling people, you have to write about your culture, or you have to document it, or else that place or space is eroded. So we saw that with Pan, where other people patent the Pan, and it's the same thing with soca that we saw with, soca belongs to the Caribbean, and yes, it has become a Caribbean cultural thing, but the people somehow have eroded it to the point where they don't recognize that the origin is Trinidad and Tobago. And so, even in that, I was saying, like, Gen Z needs to take a step back.
How did Jamaica get away from that with their dancehall? Whereas everybody does dancehall now.
Because they hold on to it, and like I say, they don't and won't. If they are bringing in soca or soca acts or soca thing, they market it as a soca show. But if you have a dance hall, if you have a reggae splash or whatever, it is Jamaican. And maybe they might be a good test case, but I feel like culturally, the cultural confidence that Jamaicans have, we don't have here. And I won't say that we don't. I wouldn't broad brush it like that. A lot of Trinbagonians do not have that kind of cultural confidence. Sure. So when a Jamaican goes out there and they speak in patois from now till thy kingdom come, because it identifies them, and when they have the meme where you must know Jamaican because they might have the green, black, and gold weave or whatever, or they need, like, that kind of cultural confidence. I know that for a lot of people struggle with that. Yeah. So that is why the freshwater Yankee is a cultural thing, because we struggle with that, and they would never, they say nowhere nicer than yard. Yeah. Everything comes back to Jamaican and being Jamaica and being Jamaica everywhere in every space, and they are not afraid to push, exclude where necessary, and promote, right? Whereas Trinidadians, we might say, oh God, well, no, like,
but then that's our culture. Our culture is that we are very accommodating, and we're also very fluid. Yeah. So we tend to fill spaces. Right. And adapt. This is our adaptability. That's what we are.
Right, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. So you adapt and you make that space for Trinidadian dancehall or local dancehall. But then, if it is at the expense of your indigenous culture, then
you've taken it a step too far.
Fair enough, but don't you think that with competition breeding down the neck makes the soca can get better? Because
but I don't think
I need to make a better song than Gunman in your hole if I want to play over Gunman in your hole.
No. You need to make a better song than Conchel fit to play.
Let's get to that in a little while.
You need to.
We'll get to that.
Because
I feel it.
I'll get to that.
It?
feeling.
We get to that. But I'm just saying, our rising tide is raise our ships. So if it actually have these dancers that people want to hear, what make them people want to hear those dancers?
I disagree. Here's why I disagree. I feel as though the competition coming from dancehall will encourage more dancehall. As opposed to not better soca. What could encourage better soca, which I have been observing over the past, I want to say 2 or 3 years, definitely last year into this year, what has been creating competition, and I hope with the win of Mr. Killer, we'll see better power soca coming out of Trinidad and Tobago. You see how the Grenadians have somehow tapped into our formula for power soca and doing it better than some of our artists. Lil Natty and Thunder, if you ask me, maybe year before last, who they were, no idea. But then when I last year heard them, and then I remember the song from the year before that I almost broke my leg in that cool effect, and I was like, these people saying things because somehow these Grenadians have figured out what the formula was,
and it's not even
to set people's spirits soaring in that.
But it's not even figuring it out. It's the essence that, or the appreciation of what it is. Because
I was going to say
it's the appreciation,
a deep appreciation that they have for our music
and our culture that we don't have. And that's what I'm saying. Because the next thing is, again, I don't think that the dancehall or local dancehall or even regional dancehall, external dancehall will push soca forward. I think it will diminish it in terms of it will erode the space. And I'm going to quote Marshall Montano here, as I often do to people. If you want to hear now, disclaimer, he didn't say it in this context, and I'm going to preface it by double M. I'm going to say it in this. I'm going to say it in this context. Yes, Mr. Hey-Ha.
Indeed.
The soundtrack of our lives.
Okay. My son's grandmother believes that he was blessed by God to spread the news of Trinidad and Tobago.
I agree.
Even the Caribbean Airlines are there.
He is, as well as Brian Lara. She believes in that, and she says she prays for them often, and I believe her.
Yeah, no, but I believe.
Go ahead.
No, I believe. I'm a believer. Yeah. If you want to hear this space is cultural space, it's sacred space to me. We play in soca. You want to hear dancehall? You have from March till March till November, late November, early December to hear that, even though Parang's supposed to have its space. But so realistically I'll give you March till September to hear it. If you go to a soca fete and you want to hear dance, so when I say soca, you go to a fete, full stop, and you want to hear dance, so you're in the wrong space. And in the words of Marshall Montano, if you know you can't handle it, stay home and wear your outfit.
Amen.
Later you go dream about it.
Yes, hands up in the air.
We jumping up. We waving
Well, I understand. But do you think that the patrons go into the fetes and say, we need to hear these things?
You buy your ticket to soca.
Yeah.
You buy your ticket to, I don't know.
The problem is who playing the music. Is
Bacchanal.
And that is another.
But exactly, and that is still related because the issue that we have
and the
issue, not even the promoters,
who booking them?
Well, who booking them? And then you have a certain level of autonomy. Once you have the microphone, once you have you behind the wheels of whatever, the wheels of steel.
Of course.
You have but you also have a
Serato guys.
But you also have a duty to your patrons. So I think it's a back and forth, and I don't think anybody could think, because when I hear dancehall in a fete or on the road, I stand. I stand.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, if I was tripping, I am walking.
My personal protest.
I
don't like to hear it, to be honest. I don't like to hear it, but I also, when it comes to local, for me, I have a special place for local entertainers.
No. Okay. I have a space for local entertainers, yes. But in this context, the best ever do it was Patinsky, because he had a dancehall soca spin to it, where it was acceptable.
Right.
Let's say Trinidad Killer has been singing soca 4 years. He was in Soca Star. He's been trying with soca 4 years.
I wish it was a video cast.
Yeah, he was. And you can see the rolling of your eyes. But I'm saying that a lot of that is just the idea, like the option that came to mind here to use as the example. Yeah. He's been trying with soca all over the place. He singing soca all in the mall and all kind of thing. Yeah. No forwards, no written, no nothing. Yeah. He's like, I get fight down all house. I over by the station camping on handing people my thing. I get fight down, no problem. Started singing a little 2 dancehall song, 2 little zesta song, major forward.
Okay.
You know what he did with that major forward?
What?
Sing a very bad soca this year.
Well, maybe soca is not his genre.
No, soca, no, bad as in good. He sang He sang Dizes.
Yeah.
That song,
that's one of the biggest songs right now.
One of the biggest songs right now.
But But then
But evolved from his Zessa persona.
No, which is fine. Your persona, your stage performance, and we were just talking about Lead Pipe and Saddest and Foggy and Murder.
Right.
So again, you want to sing Bashment, fine. That is a persona, or Bashment Soca, or you want to sing Power Soca, fine. You could transition and you could sing a groovy soca. That's a different persona.
Right.
So you're going to be a dancehall artist, or you want to sing dancehall, fine. You want to sing soca, fine. But there is a line. The same way when they have a...
But the dancehall forward is what gets him back to...
Which is fine, but the dancehall forward is the rest of the year.
Right,
but I think we're saying the same thing because it was his realization that, you know what? Maybe I could create a space for me in dancehall. That he was able to create the space, give himself a platform,
right,
and then translate that into this is my soca offering.
Fine, but when I bring Mr. Killer in the fet and he sings Daizes, what is he going to sing next? Is he going to walk off the stage and he taking $20,000 for the performance?
Okay, I see the question.
Right. I understand because so he's an artist and this is his catalog, but his catalog only includes one soca.
He has other socas, but when he sings those socas, the same way you just watch dancehall when you're on the fet, people will do that to his socas.
Because
they don't know it, but they recognize for this, and he parlay it into the same Zessa persona into the carnival.
Well, then here's what, because we all know how these fets go, right? I work in the event space to some extent, well, on the corporate side, but we know how these things go. So instead of giving him a 20,000 to run on the stage, he will run on during a set by Kess. And he will digest.
And then Zest himself.
But here's the problem with that.
When
he go and he sing his digest song and flatten the dance, when you run on some big artist set, and then the artist can raise back up that forward.
I think
you're damaging the big artist.
So you have to be equally yoked. They have their crew, they think.
But he has the biggest songs.
Not Kess, maybe Motto. So Big Ride, Digest, and then we go.
Right.
But what, and I mean
that is after that song.
No, but I mean that, and that is but no Motto does.
But if
after Digest,
however,
in Carnival Trinidad,
as a promoter, putting together a technical program, you know how to plan your set.
Fair enough.
And so you know how to, or at least if you're smart, the same way you know you're not going to ask ex-DJ to play to open the dance, you need him to close. You're going to plan your performers around, how you want to build the momentum of your party.
And let us not also ignore the fact that song probably played 10 million times. And again, I've never seen him, I've never seen him perform, but is his stage performance any different or, equal to his recording? Right. No, equal to the recording. So if I can have the record, I'm going to be very frank. I'm not going to pay him 20,000.
No.
You have one soca offering,
exactly.
Your catalog, and not only that, but when they come, they say, okay, this is what I want you to hear. This is what I want to hear.
Yeah, but if you put in me on that bill and you're using my name to bring in patrons, I want my 20.
No, but I am not going to do that. That's what I'm saying. I am not booking him.
I'm not booking him as my big act, and I also think that I also think that he could run on with a performance, say, of the likes of Kess or even a Marshall, because I remember clearly that same fet that Nelly Brickman put in, jumping up to top striker. Marshall performed. That was the year that Charles had Splinter.
Yes.
I will never forget. Charles had the biggest song. The biggest song. Marshall came on. Marshall introduced Charles, who has been a friend of his for many, many years. So they finally get the chance to really share stage. Charles comes on during Marshall's set. And the crowd went wild, crazy. And you could see it in Marshall's face, the mixture of pride, but also the calculation. What I need to do next. And so I think that is the caliber of artist. You need to put somebody with the biggest tune of the year who might have a one-off. Put them in Marshall's set because Marshall has the performance know-how. Just know how to perform.
Because it also does a disservice, or it also suggests that our artists or experienced artists cannot or don't know how to bring a crowd back.
But you are using the literal best artists that we have in Marshall.
No, but I think Bungie could do it, Kess could do it,
Patrice
could do it, Iowa could do it.
Yeah, but Patrice could. People can't even bring what I want to say because I was finishing your dance.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying you are still calling the cream of the crop of soca.
Right.
But look at your bill now. To have them on your fet, for them to have them in your fet.
You pay one.
No. I'm saying that if you have Marshall on your fet, your bill on up there.
Yeah, but even for him, he is going to, or if he or his management is smart, he is going to tie himself to another because he doesn't have a catalog to do a set for himself. Right. So he will tie himself to another. He will tie himself to another artist or to another group of artists. Like I said, sometimes they have the mix where they have the motto and the everybody together. Right. So he should or would add himself to a group like that. Between themselves, they'll sort out who go first, who go last, who go middle, and then think. But I think artists, soca artists, our artists, I think they could do it and they could bring it back.
They can.
But for us bringing it back to the DJs playing it. I think it's both on the DJ and on the patrons as well, because the DJ is going to play it or they're going to take that chance if they will continue to play it if the crowd is responding to it. Right, if the crowd is responding to the dancehall. And it goes back to the same problem of local content, cultural confidence, and the way that, again, as consumers, we are stifling or killing our own. No, that's fine. Stifling or killing our own, self, our own vibe. Because if you're a DJ invested or invested in the artist, in the culture, in the whatever, you won't be doing that.
We're asking a lot of DJs to be invested in the culture.
I was about to say...
Why am I asking a lot?
No. I was about to say, but then that also then starts the conversation of how responsible are these DJs? Are these because they are entertainers in their own right. Yeah. And I feel as though they don't seem to take their roles seriously at all.
They're taking their roles as their job. Their job is to
come, play, make money, and leave. It's not even a job. I feel a lot of them are like hungry for forward. To use our colloquial terms, they're hungry for forward. They're looking for the popularity they probably didn't have coming up. And on the girls and the whatever, and so that is the only reason why they're in it. And they're not seeing that once you get into it, once you've created this platform for yourself, you now have a responsibility to educate. And not educate in the traditional
teacher blackboard.
Not in that traditional sense. What you can do, what you now have a space to do, and I know they have producers and program directors, and they like to talk about all this stuff when you start to tell them that they're not being responsible. I just hear it all the time. However, I feel as though they have a space, they have a platform, and so they have a right to start teaching the younger generations where this thing has come from.
The back catalog.
Play for them. One thing that disappoints me deeply, I listen to Sound 100.5, right? This is not an endorsement for any station or anything. It's just, I listen to the morning show because that is for my demographic. And so my radio stays there. And I listen only in the car, and that as whatever that means, that it is what it is. And so the point is, Slam has a B2B Thursdays, which I always find fun. During the course of the year, that's when you're hearing a little what they're trying to tell me is old school. What they want to convince me is now old school.
But we remember it like
that was me and Holy Name. That's what I listened to coming up. Those are my, as JW likes to say, those are my formative years.
Trinity tunes.
And then they're trying to tell me that this is now old school. However, so they had B2B Thursdays all throughout the year. But it's carnival time, and they scrapped down B2B. And I feel like there's a disservice. You had an opportunity here to teach all these little millennials that tuned in the back catalog of soca. Let them hear what Nyla Grandpa's song like. Because some of them not even sure where to put the I. They know it's Ra, I, Shorty, something. Where does it belong?
Yeah, and I agree. And that's what I'm saying, because...
They probably think his name is Ra Shorty Blackman.
But that's what I'm saying, like... And which is why maybe again I hold people to a higher standard than it ought to be. But I feel like, or I felt like, and it's the same thing with whether or not taking your craft seriously, because if you are a good DJ, then you also know how to integrate that back catalog on a Monday or a Thursday.
Or any day of the week.
Any day of the week, you know how to integrate that back catalog into a thing. And like you say, be responsible.
Am I going to put my job in jeopardy for you to understand this?
But how is your job in jeopardy? Because I don't think, and that's the next thing, your job, and again, producer, station, whoever, because the artists themselves aren't going to quarrel with you if right now you play higher than high, and then you integrate that into a whatever, you want to play the for marches.
Okay, so what I remember of radio, my couple of times going into radio stations.
If you play something outside of your set list?
No, I know they have, I feel as though it's not as strict as all of that. What I do recall is seeing the set list. So they have songs that, they know these are the tunes, these are the songs that everybody is trying to hear, and so these are the songs that we're going to feature. Then they probably have the little underground feature, depending on what program they say this is up next, this is what's next. Yeah. They have their underground music. All right, we're going to slide in some of these new things into the set. And then everything else there is open space. Once you pay in, as they like to say, pay in your bills. Yeah. So you stop for your ads and you play all the ads that you need to play in this hour. Yeah. So everybody gets the mentions. And you play, you touch all the songs that you have to touch in the hour, as earlier rightfully said. Then from there, this is your time to show us your
dexterity.
Just about to say dexterity. Yeah. You were right out of my mouth. Show us your dexterity. Tell me how you could integrate some of the old school into the new.
But I'm gonna give myself all that burden for very
little. And that's the problem because
it's the mentality. I'm not saying I wouldn't do that, but you don't understand the mentality.
I agree.
Why going to show that for the same money?
I agree.
When I had this, I could just continue playing my set list. I could just throw whatever new.
And then when I go and dance, all of us song in the same. I don't know one DJ from the next. I can't tell one mic.
No differentiation.
You know what will happen when I go and dance and I ain't getting no forward because everybody's playing the same thing. I go and play Zessa. I go and play something different. I go and play something I know going to show
but then that's laziness.
And of course.
Because imagine, because I was saying imagine, that was around 2009 when I was in Barbados. I leave Trinidad, you're playing, like you say, your set list, you're saving over. You leave there to go to a different island, different country to hear Heart of a Man. Like, that was the first time. You understand? Exactly. Big song. Nation building.
Well written.
You understand? Manifesto for us.
Yes, I feel as though it is one of our national songs.
I feel
and I sing it with such pride.
Yeah.
And imagine the only time you could hear it is if you leave, you understand? You can't stand up in a carnival fed just so and hear Heart of a Man. Yeah. You can't chip down the road just so and hear Heart of a Man.
Well done,
year in, year out. You understand? And they playing it.
Rag in your face, boy.
Yeah, they playing it over and over and like this is what we're supposed to be doing here. So if it is we need to get new DJs, new station managers, new producers, whatever. Because let me just put a plug in here. This Soca go global and Irfan pushing it. He needs to I don't know, envelop and get the station managers anything on board, because Soca going global means that it's not just 2020 Soca going global.
It has to enough to make that change.
But that's what I'm saying. So he by himself cannot do it, and it has to be a collaborative effort with the consumers. Is a value chain.
Fair enough, it's a whole value chain. But what I'm saying is, is he integral enough to the culture if he say, I need these things done, or else I'm not going to be there?
But here's my question. Here's my question. You see...
He's an amazing artist, by the way.
Yes. Writer, performer. Irfan has been amazing ever since Irfan was...
Soca Star. The same Soca Star with Trinidad
Killer.
The same Soca Star with Trinidad Killer and Swappy was in, by the way.
Tuco Junior Calypso Monarch. He has been electrifying stages ever since.
Sorry, like you went Josh's day, boy.
No, I competed. Okay, so some of my secrets. I competed at the Junior Calypso Monarch one of the years that Irfan was competing, and then was on the Roving Tent. So I spent that season going around on a Tuco Calypso, Junior Calypso Roving Tent with Irfan Als. The person who was to become second star, the person who is now Chucky, but at the time he was Roderick. And Orlando Octave wasn't on that. I think he was
Ola
also. No, Ola didn't. It wasn't that specific. I only competed 1 year. Let me tell you. I had a lot to say, and I put it in the calypso. After that, I was done. I took my 11th place and I went home. But no. So the cast at that time, Megan Waldron as well came out of that cohort. She now sings most notably Christmas music, but you know. You can hear her on Sweet 100.
Thanks for the plug.
Yes, the plug.
Thanks for the plug.
But I was going to say, don't discredit his passion and the power that is in that, because also I wasn't looking out for Nyla Blackman to walk any BET carpet, red carpet or whatever it was. If you had asked me, name one soca artist, male or female, that would be the person to, you know, make soca relevant again in US circles and on any award show, name the award show. Well, first of all, I probably wasn't going to say BET. Second of all, I definitely was not going to say Nyla Blackman.
Yeah.
I was not. I might have said, well, maybe Patrice, you know.
Yeah.
I might have gone to Patrice. I might have said Destra because Destra's chops
is
amazing. What Destra sings these days, debate. Destra's talent, amazing.
I asked your sister a question earlier.
What's that? No, we're not going to do that. We ain't going to do that.
We can't disrespect the legend.
No, we cannot. It was.
And that's another thing. I think even the way, I don't know how many people say, I want to say 10 years younger than me because that's still old enough to be adult now.
Yes.
I don't know how many people, even 10 years younger than me, going into these fetes, have a real appreciation for the work of these people that they're crying down. They're standing in front of a stage and they're acting like they show no respect to me, no respect for the work that there would not be a Nyla Blackman if Destra didn't do work.
Yeah.
If Destra didn't come out and do good work, real work, real work in a space. Destra used to go on that Soca Monarch stage year after year and she knew the best she was coming was third, but she was going.
And singing her heart out.
And singing her little backside or her red backside out. And
I hear you crying.
That was passion.
Exactly.
That was passion. Destra wanted it. Destra wanted it in a way that people today don't seem to want it because I have not seen Nyla Blackman on that Soca Monarch stage.
But also in terms of the catalogue and that's what I'm saying, which is why it's important for DJs to play the back catalogue, why it's important for radio stations, etc. Because the catalogue of itself has solidified her in a forever Miss Destra. Not Destra, but Miss Garcia. Like,
when are we going to get the new crop of soca artists? Especially the kind of volume that they're putting out now with technology, how people record now as opposed to before. When you're going to get time to introduce the culture to these newer artists, when you're still going back to the back catalogue of the former artists.
Right to be.
Exactly, but not only that. But not only that, exactly. You have 365 days for the year. So this 3 months that you're trying to make us believe is only soca season, you lie. You have 365 days for the year. You could do that. But what I'm saying is, in its current form, you're not in its current form, you're not even playing the full catalog of the artist, as in full 2020 catalog of the artist. Because like we were talking about earlier, Bungie have 17 songs. Bungie, Fayan, Ding Dong, and the next one, sorry, not the next one, and Jaiga and somebody else combined have 31 songs for the season. How many of those 31 songs?
Superstar.
Yeah, how many of those 31 songs are you hearing in the week? You understand? In peak, you understand? Of Bungie's 17 or so songs.
If Bungie put in 17 new songs this year, and then you're trying to go,
but I don't even have a problem with that.
No, I don't have a problem. But what I'm saying is,
put in 17 now, and Marshall put in 16, and Cohen Dua have 10.
You have time.
No, you don't.
You have time.
I agree with him. I agree with him. I think there's a place for the marriage of both of your points. In that, there's so much music, and I respect that. When DJs say there's so much music,
right?
Great. But as you said, we have 365 days of the year.
Yes.
And so what you could do is, this is the best of the best, and this is what, people vibe into right now for this season.
Yeah.
And so the same way artists internationally have whole albums.
Yes.
And they release songs you don't get the whole album one time playing on the airwaves. You get a single, a release. So we deal with the hype songs. One artist could have 2, 3, 4 songs that big for the season, and we do it the way we're doing it now. But then throughout the rest of the year, give us some of that other music.
But you also have
dip in the back of
but you also have, because that's what I say, you have the most amount of platforms that you have, because even going back to foreign artists, they have an album or a current album. They have the singles that they're promoting on that album. They have the other albums, the previous albums that they had. Because we're still playing Rihanna work, right?
And balance.
And, yes. But you understand? And then you still have, so you have the radio, you have the 365 days, or within this season, you have the how many ever days? What's that? 90 days. Let's say if it's 3 months, if we average in 3 months for the season. But you also, in this carnival season, unlike any other, I don't know, there's no R&B season, I don't know hip-hop, but you have the most amount of platforms outside for the playing of soca. Not just the clubs, but how many fetes do you have in a day, etc., etc. So so I'm not expecting you to play the full catalog and back catalog and whatnot. No, in a day, but you have space, you have opportunity, you have those big songs from years gone that you're not even playing now.
Yes. And that is it. I think
that is what it is.
And in some ways, I guess they have shot themselves in the foot, right? Because they, for want of a better term, specialize so much, so they concentrate on these
10 songs.
Mm-hmm. There's no room to go. As you say, they're going to draw for these essay. You know why? Yeah. Because even if they try to go back, it's 20 songs. And if they go back, it's another only 20 songs. Yeah. Whereas, if we were consistently introducing people to the music on a regular basis, then
they would have more.
Then the DJs
back to back would never.
Here's my problem I have in here going forward, right? If we have 365 days of soca, like we see we have soca in a bigger platform, right? If I'm a new artist and I bring out my songs trying to get played now, after the 3-month season, I am now contending with some of the greatest songs of the bigger artists than me to try to get played outside of the 3-month season. I cannot compete with a Super Blue song as a new artist. I cannot compete with Destra's amazing catalog, as you all just say. Yeah. You will not play my song before a Fair and Lion song.
No, but
or a Bungee song.
No, I still think
people will go back too.
I still think it's possible because we've seen it done in other genres.
Yes,
and I still think that the same.
It's not dealing with. It's predominantly Trinidadians.
No. I will hear Trinidadians
is a different breed.
We don't have enough time.
We can't compare what is work over there with them people.
No, but we also have. But I think you can also create the space for new artists. And it's the same thing we try to do with this segment where Thursdays you have Back in Time Thursdays on some stations. You say you have the B2B Thursdays, is Retro Thursdays on other stations. It's the same way you introduce the new artist, the new song. You have, I don't know, Fresh Fridays. I don't know.
I agree.
And not only that, but we
also... Back Wednesday.
But we're also looking at the fact that, again, if you're saying that we have this set list of 10, someone to say 20 songs, of 10, 20 songs, we still were able to find a place for these newcomers.
Right.
For the Nylers, for the Second Stars, for the Orphans, for the Pretties, for the others. So they were still able to rise into airplay status, right?
Yeah, but they were competing with the songs from the 1 year. They were not competing with the catalog.
No, but I still think some of them have songs that years from now, at least I will want to hear. And so, and so I think they were good, which is why they were able to maybe compete, but compete and be, I don't know, sustainable or stake their claim.
I was about to say, isn't there room then for greater longevity for these artists if we really take it seriously and start to play more of their music more consistently, as we say, introduce newer audiences to the back catalog, that kind of thing, because then we could also have different types of fetes. In that we could have
go ahead. No, I want to throw a retro soca party for the longest while.
Indeed, I agree.
For the longest while.
So like, and it doesn't even have to be like, retro is such an offensive term for me right now. But retro, a B2B soca fete.
A millennial soca fete?
No.
So that's where we are.
Like, I want to hear Bungie and Shami.
Oh, that is so bad and underrated.
It was a good.
That is like the best.
Or Bungie Doi Festival.
That is some of the best chutney and soca mix now.
Because
it's showing on Destra. Oh God.
Bad.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Yeah.
Why can't you?
So my thing is So I agree. We could create different, like, more variety even during the season. The types of these artists could really make some money instead of having to charge you $100,000 for your 1 hour set.
Yeah. And instead of it being the same set in every event. Because now I've tailored my set.
Now your whole repertoire.
Season,
and so these people now don't even have to actually also go into the expense of trying to host your own event to try to showcase your repertoire. Exactly. Yes. You know there are more spaces, different types of events. Everybody can eat a food.
Yeah, all these things, and we are now dealing with the repercussions of how things were before.
Yeah.
Because before is what created this space that we are currently in.
But
the quote unquote fight down of the newer people before and the fight down and people started doing that.
I cannot see how we haven't stopped to take stock of this and to rectify it.
But people in charge not affected by it negatively.
Anyway, I think this is a good place to stop this episode. We're going to take a break and we will be back.